Love it.
Welcome to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. This is a show all about a lifelong passion for movies and 20 plus years of experience in the film industry to create the most fun, entertaining, informative, and thought-provoking breakdown of Hollywood cinema as humanly possible. If you've ever seen a movie and have a sense of humor, this is the show for you. The Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn airs every other Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central right here at 216net. For more information or ways to be part of this show, reach out to 216net@gmail.com. The Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn is brought to you in part by the support of Golden Age Cinemas. Yes, it is a drive-in. www.goldenagecinemas.com.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome back to the Slate Real Talk with Scott Dehn. I'm here with my friend Drew Cappuccino.
Yep,
right.
that's
yes,
right.
We're there. We go. We've been out for a little while, but we're back. It's good to be back. It was fun to visit with Drew and Kent and Dawn the past couple weeks. But today we're going to focus on. Today's actually the perfect day to do this. We're going to focus on the summer movie preview. Today we had an article hit today talking about the drive-in, all the big movies coming up. We were on WGN radio, and so it just kind of makes sense to kind of cap today off here talking about what to expect, what we're excited to see, what happened last year. Will it repeat this year? Last year was the summer of part twos.
Yeah,
there were three big movies that came out last year, and they were all part twos. And when I think back to the summer of 2022, the three movies that come to mind: Doctor Strange 2, obviously the Multiverse of Madness; Minions Part 2, Top Gun Part 2, which was the big winner last summer. So what this season is going to be our new Doctor Strange, Minions, and Top Guns. We're going to find out. But before we do that, and I'm really interested, Drew, I got to hear from you too. I wanted to make my list of my top 5 favorite. This is my 24th year at the drive-in.
Congratulations.
So thank you. So I want to make my top 5 most memorable moments that I've had in the past 23, 24 years there. Strictly focused on movies, not concerts that we did during COVID
and not necessarily the Schmidt family that doubled.
right, exactly.
The consummation.
The back row, the ones that we let kind of be back there. Yeah.
I'm gonna love this show.
So I'm gonna do my top 5. And then I want to ask you go to movies quite frequently.
Yeah,
right?
well, I love movies. Yeah,
so I'd love to hear what your top 5 movie going experiences have been.
Okay,
let's say for the past quarter century, 25 years.
Oh wow. Okay.
So you think while I go through my little list here. So this is strictly movies, strictly at the McHenry Outdoor Theater. Number 5, we did a silent film fest. We did a silent film fest with the Silent Film Institute of Chicago.
Cool.
And it was badass. I was a little worried because the one thing that you worry about at movies is the noise, and when there's no noise, when there's nothing coming from the speakers, you hear everything. And I was a little concerned about that, but it actually ended up being really cool. We flew in an organ from New York.
Wow.
So there was a guy there playing the organ.
So you did all that live?
We did this live.
Oh, that's cool.
We played Phantom of the Opera and Nosferatu. So 2 really classic black and white, with the subtitles, and it had the the sepia tone image. It was super cool. So we did that. I'd love to do that again. So that's number 5. Number 5 was the Silent Film Fest. Number 4 is a kind of a no-brainer, something that we do every year, but the Rocky Horror Picture Show. Are you a fan of them?
Not that I'm not a fan.
Yeah.
It was later in life that I identified it. Like I understood what it was,
right.
People dressing up and going to the theater. And then next thing you know, you hear a song once or twice and it's stuck in your head for life, like a lifetime.
Yeah. And it's a fully interactive.
I
didn't realize this either until we showed it for the first time. And everyone's coming with the rice and the bread and everything. But can I tell you something funny that happened to me the first time we showed it? So the movie starts. I always like to make sure everything's playing well before I can breathe for the
Right.
first time. So the movie's playing, everything's going good. Everyone's dressed up. I'm like, this is great. So I start to go to the concession stand. And if you've been to the drive-in, you know that the men's washroom is on this end, women's is on this end, and everyone's dressed up in character. So I see someone walking towards the men's washroom wearing the skirt and everything. I go, oh, ma'am, no, the women's washroom's over this side. Turns around, full beard. So full beard. Yeah,
Right. Well,
that was me. So I learned now, whenever we play Rocky Horror Picture Show, I go to the back of the building and I just stand from afar and admire it.
The crazy thing is she's now my ex-wife.
You know her. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh. And actually the cool thing this year, Rocky Horror Picture Show, we're bringing in Bruce, I can't remember his name, the main lead actor from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I don't know. He's fans of Rocky Horror. Someone I'm sure will chime in here. But they'll be there in person. We got 2 actors from the movie who are going to be there while we show the movie.
That's cool.
Doing autographs, pictures. So
that's really cool.
So we'll be doing that in October.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's going to be
fun.
Yeah, that's cool.
Man.
Number 3, this is a recent one. This comes from last summer and actually was Jurassic World Dominion. The movie wasn't so hot, but what we did do is we had the Volo Auto Museum out with their Jurassic Gardens exhibit.
Yeah.
So they had all the dinosaurs, the vehicles from the movie. Kids got to have their pictures taken, go inside the vehicles. Volo's always been very generous with us. And last year, bringing in basically their whole display for a whole weekend and having it there. Actually, I think they had it there for a whole week. Was super cool. So that's number 3. Number 2 was an accident, and there's 2 things that go into this. So in the fall, we show the classic films, like Wizard of Oz or, the classic. No, not Tim Curry. I wish we were having Tim Curry. I know his first name's Bruce. I'll think of it as we go.
Of course, Keith, our friends from
Keith.
Dream Home Experts there. Keith Wilmuth, how are you, buddy?
Yeah, no Tim Curry. That would be quite the get. But we not accidentally, but I try to theme the weekends for, we did a Gene Wilder weekend.
Oh, great.
Gene Wilder died on a Thursday, and we just happened to be playing. I had a Mel Brooks weekend.
I'm huge on Gene Wilder.
We played Blazing Saddles and we played Young Frankenstein.
That's awesome.
We sold out the whole weekend, 900 cars, Friday, 900 cars Saturday. This was, I think it was 3 years ago.
3 years ago now?
Yeah.
Wow.
So to kind of have a weekend that accidentally fell and became a tribute to Gene Wilder, one of the great comedians of our time.
Amazing.
Great actors, was cool. And that happened again. And it happened, this may have been last year when Olivia Newton-John died, and we already had Grease set up to play.
Grease 2.
She died on a Thursday.
Yeah, you said you got emotional at Grease 2.
Oh, because I love Grease 2. It's so awful. It's have you seen Grease 2?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I have.
Oh, man.
Once.
I have an affinity for really bad movies, and Grease 2 is like right near the top of my guilty pleasure, awful. How did a room full of smart people make this movie?
Yeah, seriously.
Oh, it's terrible. And then my number one drive-in movie going experience, definitely during COVID, Disney opened up their vaults, which they don't normally do ever. And they let us play Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back.
Whoa.
Cool.
And seeing that, man, on the big screen, cool. The AT-ATs coming at you through the snow, and you got the starry background in the back.
Yep.
Oh,
that's awesome.
Beats that.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
so that's my top 5. But I got to throw in a couple honorable mentions. One for no other reason other than the title, but The Big Lebowski playing was classic.
So no brainer.
And people dressed up for that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. You had Lebowski with the bathrobe. Yeah. Coffee, and then you had the women with the pins, the bowling pin hats.
Oh yeah,
they're dressed up from the dream sequence.
Yeah,
that was super cool. And then now I've played this 5 times. 5 times I've played Twister. 4 of those 5 times we had a tornado warning. So not a great memory, but a fun one. What do we have here? We play Willy Wonka. I would drive up there every year we play Willy Wonka with Wizard of Oz in the fall. So we'll have that September, October, somewhere around there. But for sure,
I could dress up as a little blue guy.
Oh, the Oompa Loompa?
I'll be an Oompa Loompa.
You'll be an Oompa Loompa?
For sure. I already got the height.
I'm going to take you up on that. So Twister, I called it Sharknado weekend. We did Twister and Jaws.
Okay.
but Twister, we played it 5 times. 4 of the times we had to get hundreds of people, cram them into the building because we had to take cover for a real Twister because we had tornado warning.
Really?
Yeah.
The day you were playing Twister?
4. I played it 5 times. 4 times we've had the
How
tornado.
interactive.
That's very interactive, right? Like these special effects are great.
People are like, wow, I feel the wind and everything.
So give me, you got a couple favorite movie going experiences that you've had maybe past 25 years.
Well,
movies that you can't get out of your head or experience.
Listen,
good or bad.
I'm a comic nerd, man. So Dark Knight, first of all. All 3. Classic, Heath Ledger as the Joker is my fave. Rest in peace on that guy, because I'll tell you what, that was real talent.
And that was one everyone made fun of the casting choice when he first came out.
I know.
Heath Ledger. Same with another Batman, Michael Keaton. Same treatment, but they ended up being the perfect for their roles.
Right. Well, and to not to sidetrack from that, but they were talking about. I'm a big Kevin Smith fan, and they've been going back and forth to where him and Mark Bernardin, if you know who Mark Bernardin is, they're talking about a Batman Beyond where Keaton's playing old man Bruce Wayne.
Be killer.
That would be the ultimate for me.
That's what they have, and it seems like they're kind of leading up to that. And we're going to hit on that when we go through the movie preview. But Michael Keaton's back this summer.
Yep.
In The Flash.
Yep.
And there's a lot of rumors going around that this is going to segue into him being the old Bruce Wayne mentoring.
Correct.
I'd love to see that. I
would love to see how that comes on. I think The Flash, just because of all the legality that kid has been taking on, I don't think they're going to make. Ezra's not going to really be coming back. I can't foresee that.
It's going to be hard to justify bringing Ezra Miller back, but firing the favorite, which was Henry Cavill's Superman, Ben Affleck's Batman.
Right.
How can you justify getting rid of them but keeping someone like Ezra Miller? I don't
know. I think they were already so far into production that it would have been too costly.
Well, they just spent another $100 million just to overcome the bad press that he got. So
correct.
And it's coming out at a bad time. I can't wait to see it, but it's coming out at a really packed time.
Another one of mine for favorite experiences would obviously be any of the Star Wars franchise. So, any of those. Harry Potter's.
Even with Jar Jar.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't mind Jar Jar. I mean, he was a character that a lot of people are. Listen, if you're really into it, and I was a comic nerd before the movies were made. So, and when you read things and it's not exact, the movie's not coming exactly to it, you're gonna get a lot of upset people. Sure. But listen, they're doing things that are like years ago when we were kids. We would have died to have any. It could be the worst superhero movie made, and I'll still watch it. I might not like it, still gonna watch it.
Right. And with what was it? What were you just referring to? The movie that you just said?
Harry Potter?
No.
How is your Harry Potter? Star Wars, right?
Star Wars. And did you see who was just on The Mandalorian?
That was the last episode.
Jar Jar Binks.
Yes.
So it's kind of cool to see him.
Season of The Mandalorian?
Yep, there is a new season of The Mandalorian.
So
season 3, episode 3, Ahmed Best comes back and kind of gets justification for
beans in the waters.
But to hit on that Jar Jar Binks, we grew up with the original trilogy, right?
Yep.
So we were younger, but if we were young when we saw the prequel trilogy, I don't think we would have looked at Jar Jar Binks the same way. If we would have seen him through our younger eyes like we did when we saw the original trilogy, I don't think he would have gotten the flack that he did.
Well, that's because if they started the production not midway through the storyline, right. If they would have started that from the beginning, people would have understood Jar Jar a little bit more.
Ashley, thanks for listening. It says the Gene Wilder weekend was 2016.
Oh, someone
or like, was that last year?
Yeah.
When was that?
No.
I remember because he died the day after my mom did, and my friends took me there to cheer me up. Then that same October is when you played Grease and Rocky Horror. It was my first date with my now husband.
Wow.
Love to go see Rocky Horror there again this year.
Wow. Ashley, you know what? You come back.
That's an experience.
You come back this fall and remind me of this little conversation we're having. And that night would be on me. We'll do a little anniversary movie and dinner for you.
Cool.
Guys.
And get some Terramana. And now you got beers there. So
we'll do a little champagne for you. Yeah. We can do this upright.
Yeah.
He better bring flowers, though. I won't do that.
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's two memorable ones at the drive-in.
At the drive-in,
Bang.
right.
That's right.
Bang.
That was, I forgot we paired Grease up with Rocky Horror. We must have been going with a musical theme. Because Rocky Horror I used to always pair up with. It was hard to find something good to go with Rocky Horror, but cult classic, Big Lebowski.
Yep. Well, that fits.
It worked.
I think it fits.
It worked. People seem to come out for it. Well, you want to dive in? You want to dive into this
Let's get dirty.
this summer of movies we got coming?
Let's do it, man.
2023?
I'm excited.
Right.
Let's hear it.
So I kind of broke down each month, May, June, July, August, into the big movies, and let's see how many movies you would come to the drive-in to see.
Okay.
I'll keep a tally. You
Sure.
ready?
Yep.
All right. So we're gonna open May 5th, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Yes.
That's a yes, right?
Right. Of course.
There's nothing for me to sell with this one.
I'm not going to tell you how many bodies are going to be in the trunk that I'm sneaking in here.
No,
Or if they'll be alive.
We don't talk about that. Drew Cappuccino.
That's right.
Fast X Part 1. This is the continuation of the Fast and Furious
So,
franchise.
you
They'll
know,
be in space this time.
The franchise more like universe at this point, right? I
Right.
mean, even from the one that they did where they're in space with a car, I'm almost to the point where I don't know if I can watch it anymore. But if it's at the drive-in, it's a little bit different than, you're outside, you're in a car. The theater's awesome. Your theater's awesome. So I would go see it. But I don't know if I would enjoy the movie itself.
It's not something you would seek out to go see.
Correct.
Probably. Okay.
Correct.
And that's a good point too. With sequels, it's not so much sequels anymore. It's universes.
It is.
We're kind of beyond sequels. And what I had to do this year at the theater is because you'll see as I go down this list, everything's a sequel, prequel, remake, reboot, reshuffle, multiverse, alternate timeline. So what I have to do now is I don't want people to not come to a movie because they haven't seen part 1, part 2, or the 20 in a Marvel series, the 20 movies that came before it.
So you're gonna do a 5-day event with what was the blue people?
Avatar.
Avatar. So Avatar 1, Avatar 2. It's the entire week.
No, but what I have to do is I got to have like a 2 to 3 minute musical montage of the catch up.
Yeah.
What did you miss?
Yeah.
So it's basically a music video saying, okay, here's what happened, done in an entertaining way, but you have to do it now. Otherwise, I have to do it. And I'm a fan.
I don't remember all of it.
Right.
I don't either.
No, there's so much that goes involved with it. Like here, if you did a pajama jammy jam overnight, right, and did the Lord of the Rings series, because those are long.
Yeah.
You would get all kinds of people dressing
Godfather
up.
trilogy.
You would. You know what? I did.
We don't talk about allegedly.
Here's where I have to be careful because I did the Godfather trilogy. The same thing you were talking about, stay overnight.
Yeah.
You know what the problem is? Daytime eventually does come.
It does.
And when you have long movies like Godfather or Lord of the Rings, it ends up getting cut off.
Does.
Yeah, that's kind of a problem.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, I got one.
All right, what do you got
for Kent here? White Men Can't Jump, the remake.
Yes. Yes.
That's a yes. You'd see it. Blake Griffin.
Yeah. Is he the white man?
Well,
that's sorry, folks. All right.
White Men Can't Jump. I just watched the original, and I think that the original is one of the most underrated comedies.
It is
maybe ever made.
It is.
The chemistry between Woody Harrelson and
is that
Wesley Snipes?
Wesley Snipes
is unbelievable, and Rosie Perez was classic in it.
Yeah.
But that Jeopardy scene, man.
So good.
It's killer. So
truly, that would be a good back-to-back I'd watch.
So I got it down. You'll watch White Men Can't Jump.
Yeah.
And am I correct in that you'd have a no for Fast X and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Well, Guardians.
You'll come see me for Guardians.
Yeah,
right?
Guardians.
So that counts.
Yeah, I would watch
Guardians,
but
1, 2,
Fast
and 3.
Fast X, I haven't seen anything in that universe. So the answer to that would be no.
You're missing out. You're missing out.
I had you.
Fast Cars. I did. It was called Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, you're talking about the Fast and Furious series?
Yeah.
I thought we were still talking about the
Guardians.
If I throw in a Skittles,
no.
That's as high.
Maybe maybe something from the Bremer Team Pump House.
The Pump House
or Tap House. Excuse me.
That's another show.
It just sounds like it comes out of a bathroom.
It does.
I don't even know. Scary.
Whatever.
Sorry, Bremer.
All right. Yeah. Here's one. Little Mermaid, May 26th. That's the live action Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a yes.
Yeah.
How about you?
Of course. Yeah?
I would see that too.
Yeah, my kids would love that.
That's Memorial Weekend, so that should be be pretty crazy.
That's a done.
Dad would look like a good dad that day. I'd be a hero.
That's our May. So pretty solid month.
Pretty solid there. Yeah.
It gets even better. June, there was the animated Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse.
Yep.
Which was awesome.
Yep.
Yeah.
One of my
now
faves.
The sequel to that, which is supposed to be even better, is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah.
That's June 2nd. No brainer for
That's
me.
on June 2nd, huh?
June 2nd.
Oh, yeah, I'll be there.
You'll be there?
Oh, yeah.
All right.
With
I'll
bells
see
on.
you there.
Yeah. No,
I'll be in my Spidey costume.
I've never.
It's a little tight.
Again, I haven't seen one of those.
Right.
And then because I guess the well's not dry enough or the horse is not, I don't know how you choose your analogy, but Transformers has a new movie, Rise of the Beasts.
Well,
3 hours of watching Rusty Scissors wrestle.
Is Shia LaBeouf in?
No,
he hasn't been in it for a minute.
Neither is Megan Fox. So that's
that's a no for me.
That's a no for me too. How about you?
He likes it.
This is telling me a
So
lot.
listen, I grew up with Transformers,
So did I. That's
Voltron,
why I hate
Transformers, which I'm waiting for the Voltron movie to come out. By the way.
Bring a Voltron.
Yeah.
It's really just a robot.
It's close. So here's the thing. They've really started hurting themselves in the Transformers series. So if you remember Saturday morning cartoons, right?
Right.
Transformers would come on, it was awesome. And then they created a related cartoon, Beast Wars, and all these other things. So what they're trying to do in this universe now is recreate that live action.
Right. You think it's working?
To me, no, it's not working.
No.
But that doesn't mean I'll go see it. I'll probably take a chance at it.
You know, I know it's weird, but I watch the Transformers movies are kind of like the ASMR of you put it on in the background.
Mm-hmm.
The sound of them transforming. I don't know. There's something that just like does it for me.
Well, not only that, I mean, robots, who cares? If it's a good movie. And they got robots and action. I mean, once again, as a kid, dreaming of live action for that stuff.
Do you remember the original animated Transformers movie?
Oh, yeah.
That movie had balls.
Yeah, it did. It was brave. It was very brave. Yep.
Like, talk about, they tried to scar children in 1985 with that movie.
Well, there was no sense of awareness for any of that stuff back then. You didn't pay attention when a kid because you didn't know any different.
Right.
You know, you were in it for the action.
Well, I remember I was at a birthday. I'll never forget. I was at a birthday party for a friend of mine, and we all walked out of that theater with like our jaws open. Like, did they really kill Optimus Prime? And the soundtrack to that is still killer.
Oh, yeah.
The soundtrack to the original Transformers movie. So we got a yes for you.
I would do it.
That's a no for me.
That's a
no
big
for
no for
Ken.
me.
And I'll pay for my Skittles.
And you'll pay for your.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
wow,
for sure.
I'm winning tonight.
Yeah.
I'm going to come back to this one, but The Flash, which we talked about, that's a big yes for me.
I got to see.
Kent, you want to see The Flash with us? Come on.
I'm a
Michael
neutral.
Keaton.
I'm neutral on that. Could care less.
All right,
but
so-
but if we're going out and doing something, then yeah.
Okay, we need a yes from you. I'm giving you.
You
a
need
yes.
something with sports ball in there for Kent to be.
Pixar. We all love Pixar.
Yes, we
Yeah,
do.
yeah, we do.
Elemental comes out
Ooh.
same day as The Flash, which gives me
Why would you
scared.
do that?
Why would Warner Brothers release The Flash against a Pixar movie is beyond me.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go to the Pixar. Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes.
I would too.
Yeah, that's good.
So that's 3 yeses.
Yeah.
And then my the one that I'm looking forward to the most, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
That's a yes.
So
yes for me.
That's a
Crystal Skull was a little rough around the edges for me.
yes. Okay.
I'm a huge fan. Don't get me wrong, and Harrison's awesome, but it's like this was going to be my last one. That was like 3 ago.
The Last Crusade.
Right. It was
The
like
Last
3.
Crusade.
Right. So you know what? Just out of interest to see what they do with it to continue the legacy, I'll go see it.
And the Nazis are back. As the
Listen.
bad guys. It's
Oh,
the
okay.
Russians, so that's
Listen.
good.
Well,
It's going to be huge because of 1923 or whatever his Yellowstone prequel
Oh,
is.
you're right. Yeah, he's got a lot of
Right. So
buzz
he's
going with
he's
that was
kinda,
awesome.
He's kind of come back because of that. So I think that'll be a big
Yeah,
one.
Harrison's crushing it.
Yeah.
He can crush it.
Yeah.
So
Can I try to sway you on Crystal Skull?
okay.
All right,
Hit me.
So I hated Crystal Skull, but
Okay.
here's what I thought of. So the Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, those were all kind of like the serials. Remember the black and white serials
Yeah.
that they used to
Yeah.
do?
Yeah.
All took place the action adventure of the 40s, right?
Yep.
Crystal Skull took place in the 50s, and movies at that time were all about alien invasions. And
Yep.
so I thought that it kept with the theme of how the 40s transitioned into the 50s, going from the serial, swashbuckling to the alien invasion kind of thing. Not excusing the movie. There's a lot wrong with that movie, but
Sure.
I kind of appreciated them embracing the change
era.
in the decade a little bit.
No, and I can agree with you on that. Raiders of the Lost Ark, right? The Ark it's still, more of a religious backing to it
Right.
than it would be sci-fi,
True.
paranormal, maybe.
Yep.
And then they moved in. So what was interesting about the entire series is they kept that motive, right? They kept that if it's aliens, if it's paranormal, there's always a question in there that life you don't really see in real life,
Right.
or we don't. Maybe Kent does. I don't know. I know he marries him and buries him. So
That's right.
But I think that, I mean, I still don't like the movie, but I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Would I watch it again? Yeah, I probably would. If I'm doing, you have to include it if you're going to go through it again. All
Right.
of it, right?
Right.
So
Yeah.
that's
When you
right.
have, like you said, the universe is like you have now. Indiana Jones is a universe now. It has to be, right?
Well, but that one is I'm going to get up. I'm going to do a couple loads of laundry. I'm not pausing it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? You're
Right.
like, okay, if I
Let
miss
that one
some,
play through.
yeah.
Raiders, you pause.
You pause.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the
Yeah.
movies, and I'll quick interruption for you. So let me throw some at you.
Yeah.
Okay. If you had an opportunity for a movie that you thought was going to be good to be remade because the original sucked,
Wow.
what would it be?
If you could remake a movie that I thought was going to, you know what? Howard the Duck.
Yeah. They're actually
Howard
talking
the-
about remaking it.
I know.
Right.
And I think Marvel could do it well. I think Howard the Duck, if you did it just right with the right amount of humor, right amount of action, I think Howard the Duck kind of speaks to today's
And I think we
audience.
come a long way with graphics and right.
Yeah,
versus
that was
original
George
80s
Lucas
Howard
who
the
did the
Duck.
original, but
Right.
yeah, you watch it now and it's very
Oh,
dated.
it's a little scary.
It's scary. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's one of my favorite bad movies.
What about you?
Any of the Hallmark movies.
Wow.
You want them remade?
Ooh.
You want more?
Wow.
Better.
You want them
Wow.
made better?
Yeah. No. Boy, I'm trying to think.
That's a great question.
I mean, on Golden Pond.
Like an updated on
Yeah.
Golden Pond. Yeah.
You know.
All right.
I mean, I was never, Katharine Hepburn was, Henry. I didn't.
Pretty good.
Right? I mean,
I like
that took away a lot from me.
That was free entertainment.
Something else
here.
I want
It's
as
like-
a ringtone.
It's like when you go to church and the old lady's just sitting there shaking in front of you. You're like, oh, just
In
stop.
judgment.
Sit still. Right. Right. So, yeah, I think that would. I guess they did. It's called Grown Ups, right?
Right.
Oh, right.
But that would be one. Just I love the boat.
One that
Chris
I
Pratt.
always had was, remember Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone?
Yeah.
Oh,
And then they
yeah.
remade.
Yep.
They did
Yeah.
Dredd.
I like
which was
both versions.
incredible. So do I. I love
Yeah.
both.
Yep.
But I always said I wanted a franchise of Judge Dredd because I was a big Judge Dredd or 2000 AD comic fan.
Yep.
And when Dredd came out, especially in 3D, that's a badass movie.
Yeah.
That would have been my answer to your question maybe
okay.
10 years ago.
Okay.
Predator with the new CGI and everything, you could make
The new
really
Predator
incredible.
movie, the new one called Prey is really,
It's really
really,
good.
well
Yeah,
done.
it's really good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can agree
But the
with that.
original Predator,
The original Predator with The Rock.
like a reboot
like a reboot.
with The Rock, huh?
No.
Batista.
That was a joke.
Batista.
I don't like that. I'm not a big fan
Batista,
of
yeah,
Batista,
he's
he was
Batista's
Batista,
good.
he
was
really
good,
good.
yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I would say The Shadow.
Oh,
That would be
I
a great
love The
bring
Shadow.
back, Well, I liked it, but as comparative to the other movies that were
that's
out there,
definitely that's a great.
you can bring that back now
You could.
and really crush it. I thought it was really well done.
Shadow.
Yeah.
Alec Baldwin.
Yep.
That's a fun. It's right, and it came out with other movies that were trying to mimic their styles. Well, they were copying each other, but Dick Tracy,
Dick Tracy,
The Shadow,
The Shadow.
and the other one that you had come out at that time, Dick Tracy, The Shadow, and The Rocketeer.
The Rockets.
was a
Oh
great
yeah, the
movie.
Rocketeer.
But they all had kind of the same vibe going for them.
It had that old 50s flavor to it, right?
Right.
And you now the way things work is you can do that and really make it work.
You can get away. Yeah.
I watched it the other day, or not the other day, not too long ago though, and I was like, really wish they would bring this back.
Yeah.
You know, because when I watched it the first time, I was like, man, this is awesome.
It's a stylish freaking movie.
It's got a flavor to it that I really liked, you know.
A very Brady movie would be good to remake.
Oh, just give me another sequel to that one.
That's
Right.
probably one of those bad ones. That's one of your guilty delights.
Oh,
right?
I think they're hilarious. You
Yeah,
talk the
yeah.
Brady Bunch movies?
Yeah.
Oh, I laughed my ass off
I
at
know.
those.
Those are
I
funny.
died at those.
Yeah.
The what do we say? The Rocketeer, Shadow, and did you ever see? I will go to my grave swearing that this is the greatest movie that people just don't see. Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Ah, yeah.
Is it not a great movie?
It's a good movie.
Never.
It's
even heard of it.
now. So you're gonna hear from people. It's a little dragged out.
Yeah.
It's a little slow, but if you follow it, and there's actors in it, right? So
yeah.
I mean, it's
got a great
piled on.
cast,
Yeah, it's got a great cast.
I've never even heard of it.
Check it out. I'm telling you, especially you like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Sky Captain and the World of Tomorrow.
Sky Captain.
What did you think of the movie Nope?
I loved it.
I thought
I'm
it
a
was
huge.
fantastic,
I thought it was a really creative, different way to do the UFO
Correct.
genre. Where else are you going to go? I mean,
No.
they've done everything.
And they really kind of cast it to like if you were in their shoes, like when it's over the truck,
Yeah.
and he's just like,
Nope. Yeah. He's,
Nope.
Nope.
not
Yeah.
gonna do it.
Yeah.
Nope. You know,
And it's a beautiful film too.
it is.
The cinematography, you could take a still of any frame from that movie and hang it on your wall and it would work.
100%.
It's a beautiful
Yeah, it is. It is. They did a good job with that.
They just greenlit his next movie, which is going to open Christmas Day of 2025.
Really?
So that should be interesting. Yeah, a Christmas themed horror film from
Nope.
Jordan Peele. Nope. That's a
Jordan-
nope from you.
Jordan Peele's doing good work, man.
Oh, so that rounds out our June. So no, I'm sorry, it
skipped one.
doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't. Flamin' Hot, the movie.
Cheeto.
Not gonna be in theaters, but it comes out on Disney Plus and on Hulu.
I'll
on
watch it. That's a
June
yes for
9th.
me.
So Flamin' Hot Cheetos, the movie, is a yes for
Is
Ken.
Chester in it?
You're gonna have to watch.
All
to
right,
find
then
out.
yes.
So do
I'm
you
in.
have any idea what this movie's about?
None. I just know
Flamin'
that it's
Hot
about
Cheetos.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Okay.
Like legitimately about Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
I'm in.
All right.
I'm
I'm
in
in.
just because of
Well, if
curiosity.
just because Kent's in, I'm going too.
I'm in.
So
Okay.
it'll be popcorn time.
All right.
On the House from Bremer team,
Right from the pump house.
from the Pump House.
July, we only got two big ones. Every summer, there's one good
Yeah.
horror movie. Last year, we had The Black Phone. This year, we have Insidious, the next chapter, Insidious, Fear the Dark. I'm a big fan of the Insidious franchise. But taking it for me is the new Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning. Part one. I can't wait.
I
So
like all of them. Yeah,
Tom Cruise is going to kill this summer, too.
dude, he's doing great.
He can't do anything wrong.
No,
And you see, he saw The Flash, called the director, and said, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen.
no, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That's a good
he's
sign.
he's a bit crazy,
Mm-hmm.
but
Mhm.
he also can back up anything he does. He's going, no, I'll be jumping out of that airplane today with a motorcycle. I'll be doing
Right.
it. You know, it's like, oh,
I think, Tom, the insurance is going to cover us. I'll get my own insurance.
I'll pay it.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it. He's like, oh, can I borrow that F-14 real quick? I gotta go to 7-Eleven.
Right.
What are you talking about? Yeah.
He is nuts, but he makes the nuts work for him.
Hey,
doesn't
he does, and he's a good actor. And the last Top Gun movie, man, I thought he did really well in that.
He may be our last true blue movie star, a guy who can do any genre, does his own stunts. He's a total throwback.
Yeah.
How many actors out there can do that anymore? They or
Mm.
are allowed to. They're
Right.
not.
No,
They're
I
commodity.
agree.
They're not going to
I'd
do their
agree.
own stunts.
Him and Tom Hanks.
Tom Hanks does his own stunts on Polar
Well,
Express.
I don't know. Welcome to the
Wow.
Polar Express.
That's actually pretty good.
That was. Yeah.
I'm a huge Tom Hanks fan.
So we got 3 yeses for Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Dead
yeah.
Reckoning Part 1.
Yep.
That's our July.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm sorry. July. This is my sleeper pick for the
For
summer.
July, did you put the dome up to turn on the air conditioning?
We
maybe?
should. Yeah,
That
our
would be
roof
kinda
is under construction.
That'd be cool.
July 21st, Barbie. I don't know if you've seen the trailer for Barbie.
I haven't.
I want to see it. I want to see
Yeah?
it. Oh, it looks hilarious. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I think
I know
that's gonna be
nothing about
It's a hard
sleeper-
pass.
The sleeper pick. That's a hard pass.
Yeah.
My sleeper pick of the summer is Barbie. You want to see it with me?
I'll watch it with you.
Yeah. All right.
I mean, it's like the dolls Barbie, or is it real people Barbie?
It's real people Barbie. You got Margot Robbie and what's his name?
Still take a hard pass.
You know what? I'll
Ryan
do.
Gosling.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go see all the movies you don't want to see,
Ooh,
so
I
I
like
can
that.
help them do the review on the show.
There you go.
And then we'll say we went and saw it, we ate popcorn, and we sat there and judged the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Those are fun too.
Yeah,
Just,
it is.
like,
Just have
pick a
somebody
movie apart.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you guys should be up in the front, like what is it?
Cisco and Ebert.
Cisco and Ebert, or Space, or whatever.
2000.
Yeah.
Right. With voiceovers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we should do. The movie that I'm most looking forward to this summer also comes out July 21st, and that's Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan directed. The story of Robert J. Oppenheimer, the story of the man who devised the atomic bomb.
Har says love day and night movie.
Yeah, day and night movie was really good too. Huge fan of that.
Day and Night. Oh, is that that's
Cruise
and Cameron Diaz,
And
right?
Diaz, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
that was pretty good.
that was a fun movie.
Yep. So Oppenheimer, who wants to see how the atomic bomb was made in the middle of summer?
Oh, is that Oppenheimer?
Yeah.
See, that might interest me. So, like,
It's informative.
what I would do is I'd research and watch a lot of history stuff on it. That's what I did with the Titanic, right?
Okay, yeah.
And then I watched how it was made, right? All the special effects and everything like that. And I go, all right, I got to go watch this.
Then you're gonna like this because Netflix, I know, has a deal with Oppenheimer to
Yeah.
do some.
See
kinda
now,
like-
see now, I'm in on that,
Yeah.
right? So that stuff fascinates me now, because I'm the guy who said my wife hates it, because I'm the guy who sits there and goes, they would be dead now. That water's too cold for them to be fishing around on that boat, right? I'm like, this is so fake. Why do you do it? Listen, they're dead.
Are you the guy in the theaters
This movie
that's
should
like,
not
"Run."
be going on. Yeah, I'm that idiot, right? And so on movies like that, I got to go and watch the history part of it to see how accurate they are with
Sure.
history.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll ruin it for everybody.
So
This is a bunch of they're dead. That you get.
So do you like Titanic then? After doing the history behind it?
I enjoyed Titanic. Yes.
Could they have survived in that water?
They could not have.
So Jack should have died.
Yeah.
Even though she had room.
Yeah.
on that
Hypothermia
raft.
sets in very quickly in that water. So yeah, they
But
went.
there was a survivor from the Titanic.
Well, yeah, but they weren't swimming underwater trying to grab
No.
keys and yeah.
right.
No.
You
no.
know.
Hyperthermia kicks
Yeah.
in pretty quickly.
Right.
then, especially in high school.
That's why I'm saying I hate the kids. I'm sorry, but and so I'm that guy. But if I go there and I'm going to compare historical, how accurate and things like that, then I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Then I can enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm like, it's like all the CSI shows. They're scientists. They're not running around with guns shooting people.
Right.
All you have to do is take your glasses off real quick.
Right.
Do a look at
Yeah.
everything.
Horatio Cane. Actually, I have a cane when I had foot surgery, and I named it Horatio.
Did you-
I'll bring him in if you
I
want.
want to meet this.
Horatio
I'll
Cane.
sign it.
Yeah,
That's
I should
awesome.
have it. That's right.
It's a very non-summer movie, Oppenheimer, but Nolan did this before with Dunkirk.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
that
that's
came,
right.
that came
Yeah.
out in the summer too, and it made a ton of money. And I
What makes a summer movie a summer movie?
I think summer, when someone tells me summer, like if you notice this whole list that we've gone through, nothing's rated R.
No.
So a summer movie is something that
Family
appeals to
friendly.
the largest mass of people
Yeah.
possible. Lots of special effects, some campy kind of comedy.
No cigarettes.
No cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? How would you describe a
No,
summer
I
movie?
and I don't know the way you mentioned it. It
I
made me
liken it
think.
to like a amusement park ride.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah, summer
Yeah.
movies are amusement park rides. The season we're in right now is kind of get rid of your trash before summer comes out. The
Mhm.
garbage.
Yeah, I like it. I like the way
But-
you put it. Yeah, families, kids, they get to go
Yeah.
versus, like a weekday during school.
Mhm.
I don't know what your following would be at that. So you have
Right.
to have targeted audience for certain things that want to go to it, like a destination point.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look at the big movies from last year. What did we say? Doctor Strange 2, Minions 2,
Yeah.
Top Gun
Mhm.
2.
Yeah.
That hits like every demographic, like
Oh,
each
yeah.
one of those movies.
It does.
You got the kids, you got the teens, you got the adults. Haunted Mansion by Disney, July 28th. That's a no from me. I tried that already, and it didn't work.
Is that the one with Eddie Murphy?
Yes, it
Okay.
is. Yes.
Yeah. I don't usually say no, but I'm going to say no to that.
No, I'm
Not
saying no.
feeling
So
that.
that's
Not
3
feeling
no's,
that
huh?
either.
That's our July. I think Barbie's going to win that one. I really do. Oh, you know what? Barbie and Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Barbie's kind of my sleeper for this
Because
summer.
Tom's still hot from last summer, so
Yeah.
it's good timing. He'll
And-
probably fill the stands because people are like, "Oh, that was great."
And
Ghost
Mission
Maverick.
Impossible doesn't die.
Ghost movies, like the Haunted Mansion or something like that. I mean, they don't make friendly ghost movies anymore. Like
No, they don't.
Casper.
13th. What is that?
13 Ghosts?
13 Ghosts.
Yeah.
That was good
That was a very good one.
because it was really unique the way it was put together.
Right.
It gave you a little bit of a creepy feel, but then middle of movie, you're like, okay, it's not.
Or the
Not
Sixth
a-
Sense.
Right.
Or the
right.
Sixth Sense.
Or The Sixth Sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
that
Sixth
was-
Sense.
Right?
Yeah.
That's a good.
Remember the
Spoiler
Strikers?
alert.
Yeah.
He's dead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, no. Everyone out there who hasn't seen Sixth Sense.
Right.
August, we got another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles brought to you by Seth Rogen on August 4th.
Live
Yeah.
action,
No, it's animated.
animated.
Mhm.
Okay. They've done pretty good with them so far.
I'll check it out for sure.
The animated ones, especially.
Mhm.
Live action was, better than the 80s, early 90s versions.
Right.
So not horrible.
But to me, what I like about this one is it seems like they're actually teenagers this time, where all the other incarnations of
They were like grown ass
They
adults,
seem
right?
like 30-year-olds like who just got off work and they just got done fighting the enemy and
They're like cowabunga.
they just want a beer and a smoke.
Right,
man.
right.
But
No, that's cool.
so
I'd
I'll
watch
see
it.
that one too.
Bone
I'll watch
and
it.
Blitz.
Kent, you want to see TMNT with us?
No, I'm not a big Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle.
Ah.
I haven't liked the franchise. I grew up, back in the 80s. You watched them, and I didn't even like them then.
No. All right, you're out.
I've even beat the video games. I mean, come on.
Those were impossible.
I know.
You talk about the original.
Oh, yeah, I beat 'em
NES,
though,
where
yeah.
you go underwater, disarm
We-
the.
Oh yeah, yeah.
God, you beat that?
Crazy. Oh yeah.
Really?
Yep.
All right, I need without
Hey.
codes.
No, arcade.
Oh, the arcade.
Yeah, we dumped piles of money into that machine.
You beat it?
Me and a buddy of mine. Yeah,
Extended
man.
play. Extended play.
that's
More
what-
quarters.
All right, I got to
that's
talk
what
to
it
you.
is.
How do
Dad, I need more money.
That's right.
I said, God damn, this machine's killing me. you know?
a movie I'm really excited for because the first one was so bad it was good, but Meg 2, The Trench. Meg, giant dinosaur shark.
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Jason
Yeah.
Statham.
I watch it.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because we watched the first one when they had it on the back of the boat. The overwhelming size of
They
it.
made
And then it was just like, I'm alive still. Right.
Right.
I was like, this is stupid, but I can't stop watching it.
It's
one of
stupid
those.
like snakes in a plane
Right,
is
right.
stupid. But
Right.
they're all fun, right?
They're fun to watch. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
so I
a
watch.
perfect like end of summer, when I think of summer, I think of Jaws, the very first summer
Yeah.
blockbuster, and everyone goes to the beach. Everyone's
yeah.
afraid of the shark. So a good way to end summer is with a movie that makes you remember why you're afraid of summer and afraid of beaches. So Meg 2, The Trench. That's it for summer. Looking ahead to fall, just to kind of go over a few here. Equalizer 3, Denzel Washington. I'm a fan of those
Anything with
movies.
Denzel.
Yep.
You good.
My Big Fat Greek Wedding 3.
They made it too.
They did.
I didn't see that. I didn't know
They
that.
did.
I watched the first
I
one.
know you're kind of getting into the Hangover, Yeah,
Yeah, I know another one.
And the same thing.
Like, how much Windex can you spray on somebody? I mean,
This is the song.
It's true,
right.
right.
This is the song that never is.
And of course, going into the fall, you're going to come up with some of the scary movies for Halloween. But you got the remake of The Exorcist.
Mm.
It's going to be 3 parts. This is part 1. It's from the
So
same.
are there any new actors that are hitting the scenes in any of these? Are we going to see new faces? Is there somebody coming out? You're going to be like, man, I remember going to the drive-in and this was their breakout Barbie. I don't know.
yeah.
Harrison Ford has got a promising future.
Yeah. Yeah.
They
know,
say that young man.
he might
It'd be
have
cool
something.
for Halloween if you
What's that?
did like Scream
Oh,
and during the middle of the movie you had like 30 people dressed up as Scream walking out from behind the screen towards the car.
I did that for it, and
Did you?
I'll never do it again.
Oh, was it bad?
Oh yeah.
People are like stepping on each other's face. People
get-
died.
People got pissed.
Really?
Yeah. And then at my
That
indoor
just sounds like
theater,
it'd be part
Screw
of
'em
the
if they
experience.
can't take a
for
joke.
it, she dressed up as Pennywise, and she was a makeup artist, so she looked like Pennywise.
Oh, awesome.
So the movie's playing, and she runs down the center aisle screaming, dressed as Pennywise. Runs back up screaming. Ambulance had to get called because someone thought they were having a heart attack. People wanted to like beat the shit out of this person.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I have to be careful with that.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll scratch that idea.
Especially, yeah.
But even what are the theaters now that the 40X and right? So you're
40X, yeah.
and then you got wind blowing in your face, and then
Yep.
I don't know if somebody's spitting on you, but it's like water to hit you if you're in the ocean.
Stuff.
You can smell stuff. I mean, it's part of the experience, right?
It is.
Maybe if you put out a forewarning,
that's what I should have done.
I think
Hindsight
that just for fun, you should put up some weather balloons. Have a weather balloon night
from China.
Too soon?
I'm 16.
Too soon? Sorry. Yeah. Put 21.6 on it and send them off.
There we go.
Too soon? I don't know.
No.
It's got like a phone on it.
Not soon enough.
Right.
So I'm excited. I'm not excited. That's the wrong word. I'm interested to see how they remake The Exorcist. The Saw franchise keeps going. We're on Saw 10.
Yeah, again.
Expendables
come up with
4.
Some new ideas, maybe.
The Nun 2. And then Sony keeps trying to make their Spider-Man Spider-Verse without Spider-Man with Kraven the Hunter. They tried with Morbius. It's not working, Sony.
So Morbius, let's talk about that real quick.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it.
Yeah.
Because it's still like also Vlad fan of Vlad the Impaler Dracula.
Oh, sure, yeah.
So that's really kind of in that context. The fact that it was more or less him and his buddy who had this rare disease and yada yada. Spoiler alerts. At the end they become enemies, right? Because they both have the power now, kind of thing. But all the way through it kept my attention because, well, it wasn't another vampire movie.
It was different.
It wasn't Blade. It wasn't, you know what I mean? It had a bit of a difference to it.
Yeah.
But I heard a lot of people hated it. I didn't mind it. I didn't mind it.
It spawned some pretty funny memes for
quite
a while. Yeah. And Sony comes out and they saw all the memes coming out and they thought, oh man, people love our movie. We should re-release it. They re-released it and it opened to like one of the lowest box office openings ever. What Sony didn't realize was people were making fun of the movie, not saying, hey, we want it back in theaters. Wow. So Sony's kind of out of touch right now.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Of the movies we named, I think the most popular ones, we got Guardians of the Galaxy that we all kind of agreed on, except for Kent. Fast X, Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, Transformers, Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Interesting. I'll watch it just because I don't know what it's about.
The Flash, Elemental, Indiana Jones, Mission Impossible. Of those, let's say maybe your 2 or 3 that you're most looking forward to.
Flash.
Yep.
For sure.
Me too.
Probably Spider-Man.
Ooh.
Right?
I like hearing that.
Because, once again, ever since they came out with it was the DC versus Marvel. DC rocked it in the animated world.
Animation.
I'm a DC fan before I'm a Marvel fan.
It's likewise.
And when Marvel came out and I saw their model, I was like, they're untouchable. Right? And then DC tried to mimic it. And then you got Batman v Superman, where it was like, my mother's name is. I'm like, come on, man. Martha too.
Right.
Let's be friends. Okay, come on, really. So, but I'm starting to see a flip a little bit.
Yeah.
Where Marvel has a stale. They're like Ant-Man. Let's just talk about it.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, if you're gonna have an Ant-Man movie, have freaking Ant-Man in it. He maybe almost everything was an appearance for him. It wasn't really about him.
No.
And
it was a showcase for the villain. It was world building for this big event movie that they got coming down the road.
Yep. And I get it. You got to have connective tissue. I get that. But I mean, let's look at Civil War, right? I mean, that's was
being done right.
That was the connective tissue to another movie, and it was awesome.
And that's a great point, because Civil War was definitely the connective tissue like you're talking about, but it also on its own was a fantastic movie.
100%.
Ant-Man, you can't say that about.
No.
Maybe it's good connective tissue. We don't know yet.
We don't know.
But as a movie itself, it was poor.
That's just it. People are going to go spend money to go watch this, right? And they're going to expect an Ant-Man movie. And they're not going to really get an Ant-Man movie. They're going to get something that's going to be leading up for them to spend more money at.
Correct.
Which would anger it would anger me.
Yeah.
But So now that DC is like, okay, so they're rolling with the Flash. There's going to be a lot of good stuff that's in that. More Suicide Squads are coming, right? And then I know that the next Aquaman. I know that they're talking about the next Wonder Woman, and I know that some of the characters are switching. Like they're not going to be.
Yeah,
so Superman.
The Flash is going to reboot the whole thing now.
Yeah,
because of I liked I'm a big fan of the Snyderverse. I did like Man of Steel. I liked Batman versus Superman, the extended cut, and I loved the Zack Snyder version of Justice League.
That was my favorite.
That was outstanding.
That was he took that. I watched both, and he took that and ran with it. Man, I'll tell you,
because the original, the Joss Whedon Justice League is awful.
It's terrible.
Awful.
It's terrible. They didn't put the detail in it that they should have.
No, and
you can tell the difference. To the excitement to the end, spoiler alert, when Superman caught the axe into his neck and nothing happened.
Right.
And it was like, you're so done, right?
Oh, yeah.
And I know that they're talking about, and there was I can't remember the producer's name that made it, but there's going to be a twist with the Flash where, and this isn't really a spoiler, folks, so it's more kind of observing where Superman has been captured and caved and skinny and not seen the sun yet, and there's an animated version to that. If you've ever seen it, I highly recommend watching it, because that's kind of the paradox.
Was this the death of Superman or the?
I want to say it was
Superman?
I want to say this was based on
Red
the
Sun,
Flash, the Flash paradox.
Oh, the Flashpoint,
the animated,
paradox.
right?
Yes, you're
Flashpoint
right.
paradox.
Yep.
And so, they had to find the Man of Steel, and they kept talking about him, but he was a skinny, scrawny little, because they had him all locked up with kryptonite around him and stuff. And it was pretty cool.
That's what I always said, is Marvel always seemed to have the right layout, I guess you could say, for their films, their production line.
Yep.
And then they started doing the Disney Plus stuff, which that should have been the connective tissue. Don't make that. So have your Disney Plus be the connective tissue. Let the movies be the movies.
Right.
And then with DC, I just thought that they tried to play catch up too quick where you could tell the studio was like, listen, we got to have Batman. We got to get them all in here.
They rushed
it. I think that Zack Snyder did a good job with what he had to work with, forcing all of that into 3 movies. Now rebooting it. What they always should have done was what you're saying, is look at their animated films, which were, the Marvel's animation is horrible.
The Justice League animation series are just
live action.
Yeah, that's all they had to do.
That's all they had to do, and they'd have this legacy going now.
100%. I think also that when it comes to the animated of Marvel isn't as good.
Not even close.
I'll watch them because it's entertaining for me, and I know the characters. I already know the character development. I already kind of know what the story is, but it introduces a different storyline, and it's that addiction that you get, right? Which led me into anime, actually, because you run out of things to watch. You're like, what do I watch now? And anime, they don't hold back.
What anime do you watch?
Well, my daughter's got me into a few. I want to say Demon Slayer is one of them. And then the other one with the kids that go to the school.
My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia. Yeah. We're through a 3rd season of that already. So, and then after a minute, you're like, oh my god, this is terrible. And why is the one guy always doing this? But but you gotta I gotta watch the next episode now. You have to do it.
Yeah, you get hooked on it pretty easy.
But when they made the movies, COVID hit, and then they were like, it's smart of Disney, but they were like, WandaVision, right?
Yep.
Okay. I watched that. A lot of people didn't like it. I loved it.
I loved it too.
I thought that really defined her character.
Totally.
Kids today don't understand the characters because they're seeing it for the first time in a movie.
Right.
I read the comics.
So
I know. She is not a good person.
No.
She was never a good person. And in the comics, they never led to that. The way they recreated with an origin story for her was kind of cool, because she started off as a good person. She had a rough life. Her and her brother came back. Ultron happened, right? Yep. And then she became part of the team. She screwed up, ruined a building. Then they had the, what did they call it? It was during Civil War, because they didn't want to sign the forms.
The Accords.
The Accords, right.
The Sokovia Accords.
That's right. Yeah. And then from there, it started getting a little bit crazy with her. And then you could tell her bonding with Vision being one of the coolest characters out there.
Yeah.
Utilizing a Power Stone to make Jarvis an actual being and probably one of the toughest ones out
for sure,
next to Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Right. Who she like, if she was in right away at the Last Stand, right, with the big bads, it would have been, that would have been a short movie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. If she was full powered, like we know her now.
Yeah.
The only thing with her though that drives me crazy is, remember when we were first introduced to her in Age of Ultron?
Yeah.
And now we had her in most recently Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange.
That's right.
Right. That accent went away real quick, didn't it?
It did. You notice
she has
that
no accent now.
Yeah, it's completely Americanized, and when she was holding the image when Doctor Strange went to go visit her and talk to her about this girl. And she was like, no, this is all real, picking from the plants and everything else. And then next, she's like, boom,
and there it goes.
And everything's dead.
Yep.
Right. And then the book's floating right there.
Yeah.
And I was like, finally, here's her true colors. Right. And they played Doctor Strange a little bit like a big puss because they had to push that storyline a little bit harder. He's known as like the guy, in that world. So,
well, if you add up the screen time for Scarlet Witch and for Doctor Strange in Doctor Strange's own movie, he actually is the co-star. She has more screen time.
100%. She does. Yeah, she does. And the fact that he is not the supreme, right? That it's his buddy because he was in the blip.
Yep.
That was never really a comic, not that I remember.
No, I don't remember that either.
But it's cool that he plays second flute to that, and he has to, and he's got to sit there and deal with that.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So they play that off with that. But all in all, that whole comic verse period rebuilt the movies for me, like Star Wars did, like back in the day when you looked forward to a Christopher Reeve Superman, and and then all the other movies were either based on a love story or manufacturers, or it was that spaghetti western, or you know what I mean, and then comedy. So you found and you pick and choose, like Back to the Future, man. Never reboot that. Man. Never try. Please don't try to reboot that, because if you do, you're gonna ruin the original.
Yeah,
you just
can't do anything with that.
Right. You can move forward from it as he's older now and hands the car down, right?
Yeah,
uncovers it
to continue it, but don't remake
it. The Ecto one, the remake kind of scenario was awesome in Ghostbusters. How they did that with the kids. Yeah. However, it pissed off a shitload of people because they did the woman's version of that, and I thought that was pretty good, and they had something going for them because they didn't want to remake Ghostbusters. And all of a sudden, after they did, there's like, we're going to remake Ghostbusters. I'm like, that's kind of a kick in the teeth, man. Yeah. Because these women worked really hard to make that movie something.
It was a good movie.
It was.
I laughed. I thought it was a pretty
I loved
good movie.
it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Yeah.
But they're going to continue that series too.
They are. Yeah. So, right now, they just started filming on Afterlife Part 2 yesterday.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's
I'm
awesome.
looking forward to that too.
Yeah.
I know we're getting short on time.
Yeah.
I want to let you guys know. So I'm going to be back next Wednesday. And you're going to want to tune in, because next Wednesday, I'm going to tell you how you can win a season-long pass to the McHenry Outdoor Theater for a carload of you and your family and friends. So tune in next Wednesday at 6:00, and I'll tell you how one of you can win that next week.
Nice. Thanks for having me on your show, man.
No, this has been great. I hope you come back.
No. If you would have me, I would be here all the time.
You'll be here next week.
All right. I will definitely try to be here next week.
Thank you for being here.
Thanks, folks. Anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
No, but thanks for joining us. We'll be back in a week. Thank you, guys.